Hey, what's up, everyone? Have you ever wondered how you could build an app that doesn't just follow a set of instructions, but actually, well, thinks? Today, that's exactly what we're going to do. We're going to pull back the curtain and build your very first AI-powered app step by step. So, let's get right into it. So let's just start with this big idea. What if your app could actually think? I'm not just talking about processing data or running calculations. I mean, what if it could understand regular, everyday language, come up with new ideas on its own, and chat with you in a way that feels, well, genuinely intelligent? That's the world of generative AI, and that's where we're headed. So this slide really gets to the heart of the difference. Traditional apps are pretty rigid. You give them a very specific command, and they do a very specific thing. End of story. But generative AI apps, they're a whole different ballgame. They're flexible, they get natural language, kind of like we do, and because they've learned from this enormous amount of information, their answers can be super creative and totally unexpected. It's a massive shift in how we build things. Okay, enough theory. Let's get our hands dirty and actually start building something. To get started, you really only need a few key tools in your digital toolkit. And don't worry, it is way simpler than you probably think. And here they are. That's it, just 3 things. First up, the OpenAI library. Think of this as your bridge, the piece of code that lets your app talk directly to the AI model. Second, the .env library. This one is all about security. It helps us handle secret info, like your API key. And that brings us to number 3, your API key and endpoint. These are basically your personal login details that give you access to the AI. That's your whole starting setup right there. So what in the world is an API key? The easiest way to think about it is that it's just a password. It's your unique secret key that you show at the door of a very exclusive club. It proves to the AI service that you're you, and that you're allowed to come in and use its brainpower. It's yours, and you gotta keep it secret. And that brings us to what is, honestly, the most important security rule you need to know. I'm gonna say it again, because it's that big a deal. Do not put anything secret inside your code. Your API key should never, ever, ever be typed directly in your program. Why? Well, if you share that code with anyone or put it online, they can see your key and start using your access. That .env library we mentioned, that's what we use to keep our secrets separate and safe. Okay, toolkit is assembled, safety briefing is done. Let's move on to our very first build and see this thing in action. We're going to start with something really simple and fun, a fairy tale generator. This is the perfect hello world for AI, a great way to get a quick win and see the magic happen almost instantly. So this right here, this is our instruction to the AI. This is what's called a prompt. And yeah, it's really that simple. We're not writing some complex algorithm, we're just talking to it. We give it a starting sentence and we ask it to finish the story. This is the absolute core of how you interact with these models. And just like that, look at this. With that tiny little prompt, the AI spits out a classic fairy tale opening. It didn't just add one word. It understood the whole once upon a time vibe and created a character, a setting. It set a whole scene. Pretty amazing, right? Okay, but here's where the real power starts to show. What happens if we just change a few words? Instead of the classic fairy tale starter, let's give it a little sci-fi twist. Let's see how the AI handles that. And boom, this is a perfect illustration of how flexible this thing is. With just a tiny tweak to our prompt, we get a completely different universe. We went from a princess in a castle to a girl named Nova on a spaceship who loves stars. I mean, come on, we're already pulled into a brand new story. The storyteller is a fantastic start, but let's try to build something a little more practical. Something that solves that age-old, real-world problem, what am I going to make for dinner? We're going to build an interactive recipe generator that actually uses input from a user. So how do we make an app interactive? It's actually pretty straightforward. We just build our prompt based on what the user tells us. As you can see, we'll ask a few simple questions. How many recipes do you want? What ingredients do you have lying around? And are there any dietary things to worry about? Then we just stitch all those answers together into one big, detailed prompt for the AI. All right, let's give this a test run. And let's imagine our user has some let's say, interesting ingredients in their kitchen, chocolate and caviar. And they also have a peanut allergy. We feed this combo directly into our app. I mean, what could possibly go wrong? And here we go. We get a chocolate caviar tart. I'm not sure that's going to win any cooking awards, but Here's the really important part. The AI did exactly what we asked it to do. It made recipes with our ingredients, it followed the instructions to the letter, which just goes to show that the quality of what you get out is completely dependent on the quality of what you put in. Okay, so that little experiment brings us to what is maybe the most important skill you can learn when you're building AI apps. It's not about writing complicated code. It's about learning how to talk to the AI, how to refine your instructions to get the results you actually want. It's all about tuning your creation. And this skill actually has a name. It's called prompt engineering. Think of it as the art and science of writing really good prompts. This is how you level up from bizarre chocolate caviar dishes to something genuinely useful, maybe even delicious. It's all about being clear, being specific, and sometimes being really firm in your instructions. Let's see exactly what this looks like. On the left, you've got a weak prompt. It just says, show me a recipe with whatever. But on the right, the strong prompt adds one crucial rule. So now, if our ingredients are chocolate and ice cream, by adding that firm instruction, and all ingredients must exist in the provided list, we stop the AI from getting creative and adding flour, or eggs, or, thankfully, caviar. And there you have it, a much, much better result. We get a chocolate ice cream sundae. All the ingredients make perfect sense, and it tastes a whole lot better than our last attempt. And this is all because of our smarter, more specific prompt. That is the power of good prompt engineering right there. But there's more you can play with. Another really powerful setting is something called temperature. The best way to think of this is like a creativity knob. If you turn it down low, like on the left, you get very predictable, focused answers. That's perfect for when you need straight facts. But if you crank it up high, like on the right, the AI gets way more creative, random, and surprising. That's what you want for brainstorming or, writing those sci-fi stories. So there we have it. We've gone over the toolkit, we've built 2 simple apps, and we've learned how to fine-tune the results. You now have all the fundamental concepts you need. So let's just wrap this up with the key things you need to remember to start building your own amazing applications. All right, so what are the big takeaways? Number 1, always keep your secrets out of your code. Super important. 2, start simple. Just give it a basic prompt and see what the AI is capable of. 3, you can build really powerful interactive apps just by using what your user tells you to create a better prompt. 4, the secret sauce is prompt engineering. Refine your results with clear, firm instructions. And finally, number 5, remember you can tune the AI's creativity by playing with those dials, especially temperature. You officially have the building blocks, so the only question left is, what are you going to create? How about a study buddy that can explain really complex topics in simple terms? Or a history bot that talks to you like it's actually Abraham Lincoln? Maybe a kitchen assistant that thinks it's your favorite celebrity chef. The possibilities are literally endless, and now the tools are in your hands. So what will your first AI app be?